We are back for our final portion of tonight's Coach's Corner East from the Pizza Hut here in Galleon. It's the Crestline Bulldogs, and we're glad to have them aboard, as we are you, each and every week on Wednesday evening for this show. We're brought to you in part by Don Barn Associates at the Galleon Building and Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richland Mall. Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galleon Industrial Park. Jonny King joins us from the Crestline Bulldogs, as well as a few of his senior players. Great to have you back, and I was told not to ask about your day, so I'm not going to ask about your day. Life as an administrator in high school, I'm sure it was taxing, so we'll just let that go and we'll concentrate on the gridiron. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
Unless you want to share.
No.
Okay, very good. You were at home. It was homecoming last week. Beautiful night for football. And the homecoming king is sitting right across from me. We'll talk to him about that a little bit. A really talented Waynesfield Goshen team came to see you and went home in Western Ohio with a 52-0 win. Unfortunately, still have not found victory yet. 0-6 overall, 0-3 in the Northwest Central Conference, and unable to get on the scoreboard, which I'm sure is deflating not only for you and your coaching staff, but the kids as well. It's one thing to get a win, and everybody wants that in the community. Everybody wants that on the team and in the school. But to get shut out, that's hard. Where were the breakdowns offensively?
It was kind of different positions and different people at different times, and we talk a lot about 11 guys doing their part and the importance of each person doing their responsibility. And Friday night in particular maybe was an example of the impact that each individual player can have on the success or failure of a play. You have one breakdown and it just kind of it snowballs, and you see sort of the train wreck effect behind it from that one point, whether it's just missing a block at the point of attack, or not cutting off the backside, or not stepping into a throw. So it was, it's a lot of self-inflicted stuff. And when you're playing, Waynesfield is a good football team. They're very fundamental, which I think is maybe probably their strong. So they just don't beat themselves. So when you go out and you make, a lot of mistakes, it just kind of feeds right into their hand. And that was the case Friday night. Things kind of snowballed pretty quick on us, and just had a hard time getting traction, really anything offensively. Had a couple big hog mollies in the middle. It made it pretty tough sledding on the ground. And then we had a couple things that I thought we could have taken advantage of better in the air. And unfortunately, we're not playing with a lot of confidence right now in the pocket and seeing the field real well. So, it's a combination of things, and we're doing everything we can to try to improve. But it's tough right now.
I'm sure as a staff and you as a head coach, and you take full responsibility as the head guy, you don't want to kind of rub salt into the wounds of young people who are trying and giving effort. But do you talk to them and say, guys, the team we just lost to is kind of what we want to be. We don't want to have self-inflicted wounds. We want to do our 111. Do you kind of use that as a comparison, or do you shy away from that?
No, we lean right into that. I mean, they know that. We've talked about that, whether it's before or after games. And we recognize that we've got guys that haven't played a lot of football prior to this year, and again, I think attitudes and effort and everything, it's not for lack of desire. They're extremely coachable. It's not like we've got kids with attitude issues and things. We've got a great group of guys, and they're trying as best they can. But there's no shortcut to experience, and
right.
It's really hard to make up for not playing football the last 4 or 5 years or so for some of these guys, and so that's just we're kind of facing an uphill climb and working on getting better. And when you run up against a quality opponent that kind of has things flipping along, you end up with kind of an ugly night. So.
Well, and it's kind of a trial by fire kind of situation. And let's face it, the situation that you're in, you have some young people that, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful manner, that shouldn't be playing right now at the varsity level just because they need that maturation time, the time to get experience at lower level games, and you just don't have the luxury of doing that. In one way, it's good in the fact that they can kind of store that in their pocket and say, hey, I got a whole year of varsity experience as a freshman, but in other ways, it can be deflating when you get pounded on week after week after week. Where's that balance?
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, and we are seeing some of our younger kids. Derek McCunn is one in particular that's kind of stand out to me. That you can see him learning a lot week to week. So yeah, absolutely, they're getting valuable experience right now. But it is a challenge, and the losing, I know, kind of weighs and grinds on you. And you feel for these guys, next to me that have put in the time and the work, and this is it for them. And, they deserve to have success because of the effort that they put in. And, Brandon and Connor in particular, guys that have been in our program for several years. You feel for them. You want to have success for them. And they deserve it more than anyone else, just because of the work that they put into this program. But it's just kind of the reality of where we're at right now, and we've got to take responsibility for it. Just keep working to try to find that win out there.
When things don't go well, and I'll use a couple examples that I was thinking about, that being Ohio State after the Oregon game. There were a lot of armchair quarterbacks and coaches sitting in their recliners saying the defense is lousy. And the next thing you know, Combs is up in the box, and they got a different guy running the defense. Cleveland Browns ran into a similar situation, and they said, Joe Wood's got to go. And all of a sudden, they turn it around and have 9 sacks against Chicago. As a high school coach with limited numbers, do you ever even really think about, especially late in the year, when your opportunity to get into the playoffs and things, that's gone, let's be honest. They say, let's try some different things, let's get out of the comfort zone, and I don't know, use an example, Connor Lusk, let's put him in a wildcat formation and let him see. He's a 3-sport athlete. Let's let him do some things athletically. Let's put Brandon Hiles at a different position. Let's put Josh Hall at a different position and do some. I mean, does those things come across, and do you discuss that as a staff, or is it, hey, we got to get better at what we do right now before we can kind of go to that?
Sure. Yeah, it's a fine line, because you want to be coaching fundamental football, and you don't want to. Compromise, teaching good technique and fundamental and developing kids for years down the road. At the same time, if there's something on the table that we think might give us, an opportunity to pick up a win here or there, then everything's on the table. So as coaches, we're having those discussions, and we're taking a look at, what options are out there, and it's always small team as well, so it becomes a bit of a Chinese fire drill pretty quickly. As if I move a kid from here, then what does that do to the rest of it? And we're trying to get our best 11 on the field, and
sure.
So we have moved some kid. Jake Bruce comes to mind. That kid's played. He's played
everywhere
receiver.
but center
He's played,
and quarterback.
Yeah, everything but center and quarterback. That sounds about
Well,
right.
somebody told me that they saw him selling popcorn at halftime.
I believe it. We're open to whatever, and we're trying to find something that we can have some success with, and then we'll kind of lead into that. You touched on a little bit with the armchair quarterbacks. Our community's been pretty good about supporting us, and they understand the situation we're in. But that's the thing. From the outside, you don't see what's going on in the day to day, and within the coaching staff, within the team, and it's real easy on Friday night to gripe about what the results are and stuff, but. There's a whole lot more that goes into coaching a football program, running a program, and everything else than just the Friday night experience. So, we're managing through it as best we can, and it's been a difficult season. There's no two ways about it, but I appreciate the attitude that these guys bring every day, and they just want to get out and play some ball.
And I can. That resonated with me from what you said, and spending 20 years as a football official. The game looks a lot different 20 rows up in the bleachers than it does on a flat playing surface. You don't always see those open guys, just like I didn't see that pass interference or that hold, right? It looks...
They saw all the holds Friday night.
Yeah, they trust me.
That's no disrespect.
3 yards.
That's no disrespect to fans in that, because that, part of the price of admission is the second guess, right? And that's part of the territory. But it does look a lot different at that level. I can assure anybody listening or watching that it's not the same perspective. So we'll take a break here before we talk to the young men. Show is brought to you in part by Steve and Chuck Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, Uptown Galleon and Crestline. Marie Mounts at the Platinum Insurance Agency, your progressive agent, 131 Harding Way East, Uptown Galleon. Joe Klein and Associates at the Galleon office of First Federal Bank of Ohio. Around the table we go. We're going to start out first with Senior Connor Lusk. King Connor, I guess I should appropriately call you. First and foremost, congratulations on being homecoming queen. Jeez, apologize for that. Homecoming king, but somebody you're very familiar with was the queen. How special was that to have your girlfriend be the queen?
Yeah, it was special.
Now, did you know that ahead of time, or was that you didn't know until the game?
Yeah, I didn't know at all.
Okay, they don't announce that at school before you.
No, I kind of figured, but
Now, were you announced first, or was she announced first?
she was announced first.
Okay,
So
and
I was a little nervous, yeah.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, were you thinking, oh my, this might happen?
Yeah.
I mean, the games are special, but what's that mean to be, have that royalty, and you're forever going to be remembered as this year's homecoming king.
Yeah, it's great.
You enjoyed that?
Yeah.
All right, so back to the football here. We're not going to talk about that too much. And for all of you guys that are seniors, and you're, as I've talked to the seniors at Colonel Crawford, the lone senior from Galleon tonight, the number of paydays are dwindling very quick. There's 3 paydays left, and this is a great sport, and we can argue that it's the greatest team sport that's out there. No offense to basketball
No,
players.
it is.
Sport,
Trust me,
right?
I know
It really
now.
is, and it's very, very special. For you, you guys all want wins. I don't care if it's a freshman or you guys are seniors. What do you need to do the final 3 games to realize that?
For myself or the team.
For you.
For me.
Yeah.
I just need to play my heart out, play the game that I always have. It's my favorite sport. I love watching it on TV, and I love playing it. Love to go out to practice every day.
Yeah. And you deserve that. Coach said it very well. All of you deserve that. And I don't care if it's the seniors, it's the freshmen. You guys have put the work in. You've done what's expected. It just hasn't translated. So you got 3 opportunities. You got Hardin Northern coming up this week. We'll talk to Coach about that. Then you got Lima Perry on the road, a long trip, and then really a team in Elgin that maybe not has shown it on the record, but they score a lot of points. So you got 3 tough opponents ahead. But I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations again on your royalty. It's an experience you'll never forget. But let's get a win now here as we finish up.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Josh Hall is next, and always good to see you. And we talked a little fantasy football last time. And how did you do last week?
I won. I actually did win. Yeah, Debo Samuel went off for me, so I was nervous. Tyree killed it, but
What's the prize at the end of the season?
Oh, we all threw in $5, so $50. Little pot.
Are we allowed to talk gambling? We had to shut down his
Five ducks.
Okay.
Five rubber ducks.
I think they're called credits.
Yeah. For lunch money.
Yeah, loves milk.
Yeah.
Right. It's all wholesome stuff here. We weren't allowed to give your name last week for
No.
FCC regulations,
No.
so we're not going to do that again. Anyways, let's get back to the task at hand. Just frustration level. Where's that at?
Honestly, Mike, I want to win, but at the end of the day, you got to do your part, and your teammates are going to eventually do their part. And the more you get frustrated, the more things go downhill. So keeping composure is a key.
So as a senior, it's coming to a close. It's been a frustrating season. Where can you still make memories these last 3 weeks, win or lose? Because you're always going to have that. Regardless of what the record is, you're going to forget the record. But the memories of being out there with your brothers is so special, and it's so thick, and you'll remember that. What are you going to do to really encapsulate those memories for the last 3 games?
It's like I said, just keep my composure. I don't want to get frustrated with the scores or the losses or the yelling or anything else like that. Just have fun playing football with my buddies that I've been around my entire life. It's my first year playing football, but like you said, this is definitely the most team sport I've ever been involved in, and it's definitely a different feeling. And keeping composure and just having a good time doing what we do, and win or lose, I'm having a great time.
So I'm going to use you as a poster child
Yeah, that's fine.
for other kids in the community. that maybe say, yeah, don't really want to play football.
Yeah.
Do you regret not playing your freshman, sophomore, and junior year?
I do regret it. Yeah, I do. And I'll admit that this has been a great experience, even though we have not won. I thought I was close with, especially Connor. I've been around Connor my entire life. I thought I was close to Connor until I played football. I realized how much closer I got with him. I mean, this dude's like my brother.
You're
We're
going to make
close.
me cry.
it's
so well said. I mean
it's
that
different
with all due
experience.
respect. Yeah, it is.
Football is just a different sport. It's nothing like basketball, baseball, track. This is, you go out there, you pad up, and you're getting hurt with your friends. You're laying your body out with your buddies. That's just the sport. It's what you do.
And I think it's because you get one payday a week.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're really good. Well, continue hard work, and I hope it pays off for you.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Geoffrey Tadda is here, and last time we spoke, he had a long stick in his hand and a funny hat on his head, and was chasing white balls around the course. I didn't even know you were going to play football. When did that transpire?
During golf season, I was like, it's my senior year, so I'm just going to do whatever I can to make it the best. So I just joined football.
Good for you. Now, is this the first time you've ever played?
Yeah, not the first time. I played in 5th grade.
And so and Coach talked about that, quite a deficit. So kind of the same question for Josh. Do you regret not playing in between?
Totally.
I mean, I know you enjoyed golf, and because I've interviewed you 4 years on the golf team. But looking back now that you've gone through this, do you regret that you should?
Totally.
Yeah.
I wish I would have joined my freshman year.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's a blast.
Yeah, it is. And it's not just the game. It's the bus rides. It's the school spirit. It's the getting together probably after the game and commiserating with friends and things like that. It is a very special time, and I think that's why it's a popular sport. So as you finish up these 3 weeks, what do you personally feel you need to do to help get that W?
Just get my blocks in and just play as a team.
Yeah.
Just make sure I do my part.
What position you play?
Left tackle.
Left tackle. Both sides of the ball, or just
No, I left tackle then defensive end.
defensive end? Okay, very good. Well, good luck to you, and I hope you get that W. And how did the golf season end up for you?
Terrible.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest about it. You mean you personally, or as a team, or?
Both.
Yeah. Well, we hope it translates here on the football. And finally, we have Brandon Hiles here, and it's so good to have you back. Looks like you got a little bit of a dinged up hand.
Yeah,
Wrist?
I fractured my thumb last week.
Oh, during the game.
No, it was last Tuesday during practice.
Oh, okay. Did you play Friday then? Or?
No, I was not able to play Friday.
Okay, are you going to be able to play this week?
Yes, I am.
Soft cast or something on it?
No, I just have this brace now, but I'm able to just wrap it up for game days.
Okay, now as a former official, can't use it as a club.
Oh.
If you're thinking you can start hitting people up around the head with a club, you got to be smart with that.
Yeah, I will be.
Does it affect your game at all? Do you think it will bother you?
It might affect me a little bit in the catching game, but I don't think it'll affect me too much.
Do you have pretty good flexibility with it right now?
Yeah, I can bend it a pretty good amount, just not as much as I normally can.
Now, is that something that is just going to kind of heal on its own, or are you going to have some intervention medically to be able to get it back to where it should be?
It wasn't a bad fracture, so I feel like it'll just heal on its own. I don't think I'll need intervention for it.
Okay. Josh talked about, Connor talked a little bit about it. You guys have played together for years and years and years, and it's starting to wind down. Does that bring sadness to you? Or is it more of a reflection of, I'm glad I did it?
Yeah, I moved here my freshman year, so about 4 years ago, and I've enjoyed every single year since. And just the sports I've played basketball since freshman year, and I joined football my sophomore year, and I've loved it ever since.
Yeah.
Just playing with these guys every year.
All right. Well, shell out here these last 3 weeks. Give it all you got, despite the injury. And I know you won't use that excuse. You'll just go out and do the job you have. So, congratulations on gutting through it and enjoy it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We'll take one final break here before we talk to Coach King about Hardin Northern. We're brought to you in part by the Burkhart family at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer straight west of Gallion on the Manette New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion. Sweet Baby Ray Jones and Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Gallion, Ohio. And week 8, you head to the small village of Dola and take on Hardin Northern. The Polar Bears, 4-3 overall, 2-2. The Northwest Central Conference. Travis Reddick is their head coach. Last week they lost to a really good Upper Scioto Valley team, but they did put 22 points on the board, but they got doubled up, 44-22, averaging about 33.3 points a game, giving up 31.9. So they've shown that they'll give up points, but they score a lot too, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and it's I like what they're doing over there. It's a credit to their coach. They're playing a lot of young guys. I think if I remember, they're starting about 6 freshmen or so. So you can't really play the lack of experience card this week.
Right.
So yeah, but it's it's a week that we're hoping we can get some traction offensively and put some points on the board and maybe play some fundamental defense and give ourselves a shot in the fourth quarter. So.
You got a couple guys by the name of Robson. One's the quarterback, Nevin. He was 7 of 14 for 111 yards and 2 TDs against USV. And I assume it's his brother, Nolan, 6 rushes, 53 yards and a touchdown. And then wide receiver Xander Wilson, 5 receptions, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. They rushed for 108, passed for 112, so pretty balanced. Do you expect them to throw more or run more against you?
I imagine whatever they find they're having success with. I think week to week they've done a good job of just kind of finding what works and then exploiting that. We scrimmaged them a couple years ago, and I remember them being a little bit kind of double tight, wing T type stuff, and they kind of flex in and out of that a bit. And so we're preparing for everything, but I imagine they're going to start on the ground and try to have some success there and kind of set up some of their pass game, play action.
Well, the good news is they gave up over 450 yards on the ground. Maybe you can get the running game going, and who knows, maybe throw some wrinkles that they haven't seen on film yet too, right?
Yep, we'll see what we got in store this week.
All right, well, very good. Continue to keep your heads up. I'm so proud of all you guys for hanging in there, coming each and every week after tough defeats and talk about that. That's not an easy thing for a coach to do, let alone young people to do, but I give you the world of credit for keeping your head up and being honest with me and straightforward with me and not complaining, so to speak, and just going about business. That's extremely impressive from young people, and of course I give you a lot of credit for doing it week after week. So I hope you get your payday really, really soon.
I appreciate it, Mike.
You bet. Thanks for coming out. We have a little bit of a limited media schedule sports-wise because the Cleveland Indians / Guardians have wrapped up their year, whatever you'd like to call them. Tomorrow night, we have the Ryan Day Show. The Buckeyes getting ready. They had a great showing up Rutgers last week, getting ready for homecoming game against Maryland this week. Friday night, it's the opening drive show with Cam Moon at 6:30. We'll have a doubleheader football-wise on WQEL. It'll be Mohawk at Bucyrus. WBCO, Battle of Route 602, as Colonel Crawford goes up the road to New Washington to take on Buckeye Central. And Davy Jones, 46th year of the Friday Night Phone Board, will be on the airwaves after the game right around 9 o'clock. As mentioned, Saturday, it's Ohio State football. They're at home against the Maryland Terrapins. Coverage begins at 10:30, kickoff right afternoon. And on Sunday, breakfast with the Beatles at 7 a.m., the Time Warp Show at 7 p.m. I want to thank everybody here tonight at the Galleon Pizza Hut, especially our manager, George Root. Server tonight, Adiana. Appreciate her help very much. Thanks to Danny Lane back in the studio for getting me recorded, and for Cameron Moon, my camera operator, easy for me to say, and Harper Boggs helping out big tonight. Certainly appreciate her as well. Thank you to Galleon football coach Matt Dick and his players, assistant football coach Brett DeGray and his players from Colonel Crawford, and Jonny King and the Crestline Bulldogs for giving us their time tonight. Thanks to all our sponsors and you, our people, for tuning in on the Facebook page of WQEL. We certainly appreciate your support as well. For WQEL Sports, this has been Mike Sparks reminding you, as I do each and every week, a spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.